Hello, welcome to the Compass and Compass Red training video. My name is David Beza, and I will be guiding you through this training video. Compass and Compass Red are designed to allow integrators to install and optimize Cel-Fi cellular and public safety equipment. This will allow for faster and better installs. Compass and Compass Red are the scanning modules, so they're the actual hardware. The software to control the compass and also perform other tasks is the Wave Pro application. For Android devices, this is available on the Play Store, and for iOS devices, this is available in the App Store. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So we'll launch the Wave Pro application. Now this is going to use Bluetooth to communicate with your Compass device. So first it's going to search the environment. I found my Compass here, the first one in the list, so it's going to connect to it. Now I have the opportunity to name my device. So I can call this Compass. So now I've named my device. Now, if you go into the settings, the hamburger button at the top, it will show the app version, also the Compass version, that is the embedded software inside of the device. Under settings, you can see the battery level. You can rename your device and update that if necessary. We also show the SIM card and the operator that it would be connected to. So we will review the SIM card testing capabilities. There's the IMEI number of the actual modem that's inside the Compass. And then for your mobile network testing, you can do a data test. There's a field for the APN and username or password if your SIM requires it. So you see there the Quattro Red installation package download. In the Quattro Red commissioning video, you can review how to download the installation packages and also configure your Quattro Red system. So for cellular installations, we have antenna pointing, and then we have full signal report and grid testing. So we have the cellular capabilities and also the Quattro Red public safety capabilities. So we'll get more into the Compass Red. Initially, we'll start with some of the Compass features, and then we will add the public safety P25 LMR frequencies. So for positioning testing, this allows you to optimize the direction that you want to point your antenna. So our Cel-Fi antenna mounts have position dials. So you can also, use third-party mounts, but just keep in mind that we want to use, 45-degree increments for the best and optimal direction. So starting with position 1, this will scan all of the cellular frequencies for your market. So all of the available operators and all of the frequency bands that the modem supports will be scanned. So that actually took a capture of all these signals at position 1. So here I will rotate my antenna to a different azimuth, and we will perform another capture. So you want to test as many available positions as you can. 360 degree sweep is optimal. If you're up against a wall or in a unique installation position for your antenna, then you might be limited. So we'll go ahead and we'll scan a third position here, and then we will see which one has the best direction to point our antenna. So now I've got multiple direction scan. So you can see from the results there is a score and a band indicator. So the asterisk by the band shows the optimal band. You can also see how the other bands scored in their sweep. So this will help you dial in what direction to point your antenna, and then also which band has the best signal level and signal quality. So that is how the position tests. It's operator independent, so you can scan for each operator and optimize your antenna positioning. So that's one of the features. Also keep in mind that you don't want to put a SIM card in for this particular test. We want to be able to scan all of the operators available in your market and not be limited to a single operator. And we'll get into the benefits of using a SIM card later. So we also have the full signal report. So we will pull that up. We will start a test. Again, this is scanning all operators, all frequencies available for your market. So it takes about a minute and a half to scan all the bands, all of the signals, and it puts it in a nice display. The full signal report, you can export a CSV file, so you can share that with yourself. You can share that with other team members. So you can also scroll through this data in real time, and it shows you all of the available bands and signal levels, shows you the frequency and the channel number. The EARFCN there. So this, again, will scan all of the available channels in your particular market. So up here, you would select Export Report, and then you can send a CSV file with all of the same information in a table. This tool can also be used to download software to update your systems. So in order to do that, you would connect the compass to an Ethernet connection. So I'm going to connect the compass to a LAN port, and then we can see what becomes available. Now we see the download software option has become available. So we will check for updates. So we'll go ahead and click download software. Now it's using that Ethernet connection to download software or to check what software is available to download into the actual compass. So we can see here that there are new software packages available. So I'm going to go ahead and download those. So now this software is downloading into the Compass unit. So we can then offline configure a Quattro system to the latest available software. This also helps with offline commissioning. If you don't have access to the internet at a customer site, you can use this tool to download the software into the Compass and then configure your system on site. So that was the Ethernet software download option. So I'm going to insert a SIM. So let me go ahead and disconnect from that. And I'm going to power down the Compass. I'm going to insert a SIM card. I will launch the Wave Pro application. So you can use a SIM card for each operator if you want to do an in-depth signal scan and data test. Otherwise, the full signal scan does already scan all of the operators, but some of that functionality with a SIM card, again, doing an actual carrier signal capture and doing a data test can be beneficial to some of the optimization that you might want to do in a given market. So here we see that operator signal has become available. And we also have the speed test option. So those are only available when you have a SIM card inserted. So I will click on the operator signal. That shows me what operator I'm connected to, the cell tower PCI, the bandwidth of the channel, downlink and uplink frequency, the RSSI value, RSRP, RSRQ, and as well as the SINAR and the current state of the modem. So that is, again, a look at the operator signal for a given location. Speed test, again, we want to put the operator information for mobile network configuration. The APN field is required. We see that the Compass SIM card information has been extracted. So we have the MZ, we have the network type, and the network name. So we'll go back to speed test. So now we will go ahead and actually perform a speed test on that network using the Compass. So I will start my speed test here. And then once it's completed, it will show the current results. You also have a history of all your previous results. So again, this is one operator at a time. You're more than welcome to, power down the Compass, insert a new operator SIM card, and then repeat this type of test. Okay, so 5 megabits down, 6 megabits up, and a 63 millisecond ping time. So that is a look at the speed test. So again, those are the operator signal and speed test options that are available when you add a SIM card. So one thing we want to show also is the offline configuration capabilities. So again, you might be in an environment where the IT infrastructure, they might have security concerns. They don't want to allow guest devices, or they've got a firewall that has certain ports blocked. So we can configure a Quatra, update the software offline. So I'm going to connect the Ethernet cable of the Compass and connect it to a Quatra. And then I'm going to power on the Quatra, and then we will see. So now the tool is going to ask, we've detected an Ethernet connection. What is the Cel-Fi Compass connected to? I'm connected to a Quatra. You can also set the fixed IP of a Quatra. So if you needed to change a setting or audit, you can use the fixed IP option. We're going to select the Cel-Fi Quatra. There's no fixed IP setting on this particular unit. So now it's synchronizing with the device. Yeah, so this is also a great tool to have, when you're going into an unknown environment where you're not sure of what the IT infrastructure is like. So right underneath that Compass name, you see the serial number. That's actually the serial number of our Quatra. We see that there's the software update and offline update available. We have antenna settings. So you can configure the network unit of your Quatra. You also have the band settings, so you can disable and enable certain bands. Based on the antenna pointing that we did, we can see that we might have band 14 and band 4 are the primary or the best performing bands for that market. So you can limit the Quatra to only relay or search for those best performing bands. So again, these are the options that become available. You can register your system if it's never been registered, perform an offline software update, and actually configure the unit. So that is a look of that. So these are the basic functions of the Compass tool. It's very powerful, and again, this will allow you to optimize your installations. It will speed the time to install and configure the system to get cellular and public safety service inside of that building as quickly as possible. Now we're going to get into the Compass Red. Now, what Compass Red does is, in addition to the cellular capture, it's also going to capture the LMR P25 channel information for a Quattro Red installation. So I'm going to power down my system. I'm going to connect the Compass Red here, and then I'm going to power my system back on. Compass Red is a software-defined radio that comes with an antenna. It's reverse SMA polarity, and this allows for the scanning of the P25 LMR frequencies that are supported by the Quattro Red. So now I've got my Compass Red module connected. So when I select Full Signal Report, it's going to ask, do I want to scan just cellular or also public safety? So now we see that the Compass Red has been detected, and now I have my public safety option for my LMR P25 channel. So I'm going to select Continue. Now it's going to ask me for the same installation package that we've configured our Quattro Red with. So this is where we select all of the frequencies that we're going to use for our public safety system. So I'm going to use the same installation package that was done in the Quattro Red commissioning for the Aloha Hotel. That takes us to the Wave Portal login. So you want to use the same Wave Portal credential that you would use to commission the systems. Okay, so now it's synchronizing with the Wave Portal. I'm going to select Aloha Hotel because we are going to scan there. So now I've got my Aloha Hotel installation package selected. So now when I start my full signal report with the Compass Red attached and the public safety option selected, I'm also going to gather those public safety signals. So let's let this finish, and then we'll see what the new result is using the Compass Red. And this scan is a function of the number of control channels that you have selected for your configuration. So for this example, we've selected both a 700 and 800 megahertz channel for reference. So for public safety, we also include the FirstNet public safety network. So that is a public safety cellular network with priority for first responders. All right, so now we see that we have the 771.481250 frequency. We have our signal level and our SINAR value. We also have our cellular and FirstNet signal capture. So again, all of the same functionality with the Compass, in addition to that Compass Red public safety. With the filtering, we can remove public safety and get cellular only. And then we can add public safety. We can remove these cellular channels if you're only installing a public safety system. So again, ease of display, and as with the Compass, you can export this data into a CSV file for later use. So that is the full signal report. Again, the installation package includes the frequency configurations. Now for the grid test. First, I want to take you to the Wave portal. So in the Wave portal, we are going to log into our site and use the survey editor to configure our system here. All right, so now that I'm logged in, I will go to my site. Actually, let me go to the file manager. I'm going to go to the Aloha Hotel, and I see that I have my ground and second floor. So through Add File, you're able to import your floor plan, so that makes them available for that site. So Again, File Manager, I go to my folder that I've created. I've got my configuration file, and now I've added my floor plans for each level. So this will be multiple levels. And then I go to my site. We will pick Aloha Hotel. Okay, select that location. Okay. And again, it's got the site address. And when you start adding your systems, they will populate here. So we see that we have no surveys collected yet. So our grid test will result in a survey. So we go to our survey editor. So now I want to create a new level. So I will call this level 1. And I'm going to select a floor plan image. From my Aloha Hotel file folder, I will select the ground floor for level 1. And that populates the floor plan for that ground level. And then I will also add a second level. So we will add level 2. And then for the floor plan image, I will select my second floor image file. So now I've got my first level and second level floor plans. Now, for the grid test, I can select a 20 grid size or a 40 grid size, and I can break this up into columns. So I'm going to use 20 grids with 2 columns, and that's going to populate. I can also select 4 columns if I wanted to. Now you can also deselect certain grid squares. So I'm going to deselect 17 because this is more the wall and the outskirts of the building, similar to grid square 20. So those won't be included in the grid test, so you won't get penalized for a failure. Those will count as passing, and in most jurisdictions, for a 20 grid size, you can't have any more than 2 failures, and for a 40 grid size, you can't have any more than 4 failures. So you can also add equipment. So you can have a proposed network unit. So let's say we're going to put that in our tech closet here, and then our coverage units, based on our layout or your IB wave design, you can have proposed coverage unit locations. And then you can even determine where your antenna, either for a donor antenna on the roof, where that's located, or your CUs could be connected to service antennas indoors. So again, with the grid tool, you can put your equipment onto the grid. So we'll do the same thing for level 2. I want a 4-column 20 grid size. I'm going to deselect a few of the grid squares that I'm unable to test in. And then for my proposed equipment, I'm going to put the network unit in the tech closet. I'm going to put my antenna on the roof and my proposed coverage unit locations. Okay, so now I've used the survey editor to add my floor plan, my proposed equipment, and my grid size. So this automatically saves. Now I will switch back to the compass tool here. Now when I go to perform my grid test, again, that same package for the Aloha Hotel. The tool will then synchronize and download those packages. So I will sync the package. So now I've got the Aloha Hotel. Now I can start my survey. I will give this a name, survey test. Now you can see the same floor plan that I loaded to the Wave portal has now synchronized to the Wave Pro application. So now I can select where I am in the grid, and you can see the location icon. There's a capture button there on the right. So if I want to perform a signal scan capture, I can do so. And then there's also filters. So if I want to see the results, I can do that. So let me go ahead and start in grid square 1. I will perform a capture. Now, if you've selected a location in error, you can delete a capture. So if you make a mistake, no need to worry. You can always go back and correct that. All right, so now we see that we have a successfully collected data point. So we can click away here. So I will bring up this screen here. Again, if I want to delete, I can select that point, and you see the delete option here. So I can delete that point if I want to. But as I prepare to select a new data capture point, I can bring up my network filter. So I can look at my 700 megahertz LMR data, my 800 megahertz data, my FirstNet band information, also my cellular band information. So if I click LMR 700, I can see the signal legend shows up on the actual floor plan display. So I will select 700. Now I see that signal chart. So I see a colored dot, and I see a reference to that signal level. Now, if you want to see what that signal level actually is, again, click on the signal legend, and it will show you the detailed text for those values. So again, I can continue collecting data. So I will finish this floor plan, and then we can see the results shortly. All right, so now we have completed the entire grid test. We're down to our last square. All right, so now we've captured all of our grid squares. Again, we can select LMR 700. Now we can see all of our grid test results. They're mainly yellow and green. Click on our signal level. Yellow and green are neg 80, neg 85. So again, just a real-time overview of what we've collected there. So now we've collected all of our grid square information, and we can now upload that to the cloud. So we see the arrow up. So I just wanted to jump over here. So on the Wave portal itself, and now we see our survey test is now available. So I can click on my survey test. Now I have all of my grid information. So we can select from 700, 800. We can look at our other cellular and FirstNet bands. So again, we also have our signal level chart. So we can verify, what our signal levels are. If you click on each dot, you can actually see what the recorded value was. You can also see all of your data. So again, now our grid test information has been uploaded. You can filter and sort as needed. So here is the survey report. So this will put all of your information into a report. So we have the date, the time, the address for the Aloha Hotel, site owner. Again, the system configuration. Here are the downlink and uplink frequencies and signal level chart. Here's our equipment layout that we identified, our proposed layout. And then here is our safety grid. Again, the squares that you deselect will count as a pass. So we've collected 18 out of 20. 2 of them were disabled, and all of them had passing signal level criteria, which is minus 95 RSSI level. So we can see our min, max, and average if you have multiple channels in the same band. So again, you have the test data for all of your squares. We are looking at both public safety as well as the FirstNet. So again, we've got our pass fail criteria. Again, for a 20 grid, anything more than 2 failures. So if we had 3 failures, this would fail the entire grid. So we only had 2 failures, so this was still a pass per the code. And again, finally, we have also FirstNet. So we've got our FirstNet criteria, and then all of our receive levels. So we can see we have our dominant bands and channels, and then some secondary ones as well. So again, you've got this output report. You can save this, you can print this out, you can deliver this with your system. So again, thank you for viewing the Compass and Compass Red training video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And we look forward to helping you and your customers enjoy public safety and cellular service.